Hey guys, today we'll be covering a 2020 horror comedy film called The Babysitter Killer Queen. 2 years ago, 14-year-old Cole found out that his babysitter B was part of a satanic cult. The night he killed B and her friends was the most traumatic night of his life. After he was rescued, he told everything to the police and his parents. However, they never believed him and assumed he had a psychotic break. Currently, he is in junior high and has PTSD from the incident. He remembers talking to B at the end of the night and making peace with her, but it hasn't helped him forget the gruesome deaths he witnessed. Cole's life after that night hasn't changed much, as he still gets bullied in school and is considered a loser by his classmates. The only person on his side is his best friend Melanie. She is Cole's neighbor and knows that everything he is saying about the cult is true. However, two teenagers cannot prove the deaths when there is no evidence whatsoever. Cole has a huge crush on Melanie, but she is in a relationship with the typical popular kid, Jimmy. She is also in a friend group of 4 consisting of her, Jimmy, and the 2 unpopular kids, Diego and Bonbon. Melanie spends most of her time with them and often neglects Cole. One day in class, the teacher introduces them to a new student named Phoebe. She is a blunt badass who is intelligent and straightforward. There are rumors going around the class that she killed her own parents. At first glance, Cole knows that she is not someone he should mess with. Then we are introduced to Cole's parents, Archie and Phyllis. They are worried about their son's mental health, mistaking his PTSD for a psychotic break. They urge him to take many medications to help him with his anxiety. However, the meds only make him hallucinate more. One night after months of being on medication, Archie checks if Cole has forgotten about the made-up satanic cult. However, on realizing that the kid still thinks his story was real, he knows something has to be done. The couple makes the harsh decision of sending him to a psychiatric academy. The next day, while looking for something, Cole finds the academy's leaflet. It doesn't take him long before realizing what his parents have decided for him. However, he knows that he is not mentally ill and would do anything to not go to a psychiatric school. At school, Cole shows the paper to Melanie. She thinks his parents are doing too much and assures him that he is not insane. She also invites him to a party where she is sneaking off during lunch. Cole is reluctant to go because he is still not used to being around many people. In the following scene, the new student Phoebe opens her locker and brings out a stuffed toy that is very close to her. It has a keyring stuck to its ear, which reminds her of a car ride. Right before the lunch break, Cole is asked to go to the principal's office where his parents are waiting for him. He realizes they are about to take him to the academy and quickly joins Melanie in her father's car. He had thought only the 2 of them would be going to the party, but is disappointed when joined by Jimmy, Diego, and Bonbon. They make their next stop at a lake bash where many youngsters are dancing, drinking, and having fun. Cole throws his anxiety medication away, hoping to be free for one day. He also notices Phoebe joining the party, but she gets on a jet ski and drives away right after. The group then boards a boat to enjoy the party privately. Somewhere else, Cole's parents go to Melanie's father and ask him about their son. The man doesn't care where the children are until he finds out that Melanie stole his car. They make a police complaint, but the officer asks him to wait until dinner because most runaways return by then. Back on the boat, Cole and Melanie end up kissing inside a closet while playing a game of 7 Minutes in Heaven. As everyone chats, Diego asks Cole about the cult that made him crazy. Melanie tries to dodge the question, but accidentally mentions the demon book. Cole clearly remembers that he never told her about the book. He inquires how she is familiar with it, and Melanie insists he told her about it on the night everything happened. Then suddenly, she takes out a boat hook and kills Bonbon with it, making the room a bloodied mess. Cole is in utter shock and can hardly move. It turns out Melanie also signed the book and made a deal with the devil because she wants fame and money. Jimmy and Diego are with her, having sold their souls as well. More surprises come when the older cult members appear out of nowhere. Cole remembers each of their deaths vividly and is very confused. They reveal that they are spirits of the dead members who are about to come back to life after tonight's ritual. As per the book, Bonbon's death was a sacrifice. Now they need an innocent person's blood to seal the deal. The said innocent person is Cole. Melanie had thought he would pass out after taking the medications and some alcohol, which never happened. This means they will have to kill him after drawing his blood. Cole tries his best to escape, but there is no hope since he is up against so many people in the middle of a lake. Suddenly, Phoebe barges in, asking if they have fuel for her jet ski. The dead body makes her think the group is into weird cosplays, and she simply walks away. When everyone is distracted, Cole makes a run for it and drives away with Phoebe. An older cult member, Max, uses a crossbow to make a hole in their fuel tank so they can't get too far. The 2 stop when they are at the bank. Cole wants to stick together, but Phoebe doesn't trust him. She walks away alone and bumps into a man camping in the dark. She asks him for help, but the guy starts making inappropriate comments. Cole comes to Phoebe's rescue and tries to run away in his car. However, they have to stop when Sonia appears in front of their car with a flamethrower. She kills the pervert first, then attacks the other two. Cole runs over her several times before a surfboard from the top of the car decapitates her. Then the two try driving away, but to their misfortune, the car is stuck. The cult followers are nearby, so they hide under the vehicle. The group separates into the older and younger ones and start looking for the duo. When alone, Phoebe reveals there is a cabin nearby owned by her late parents. They decide to spend the night there, so in the morning, the enemies will have no reason to look for them since the ritual can only be performed tonight. On their way, they bump into another cult follower, Allison. She fires a shot randomly, which strikes a rock and hits her in the chest. Still, she continues running after them and eventually falls into a crevice in between the mountains. The other two try pulling her, but the only thing that comes down is half of her body. They leave another decapitated body behind and try to run before being confronted by Max, who attacks them with an axe. Cole uses Allison's leg as a shield and manages to save himself. After that, he hits Max in the crotch and runs away with Phoebe on a boat. Max doesn't give up that easily and uses a lifeboat attached to the boat to follow behind. Phoebe uses a can of silly string to light him on fire, and Cole shreds his body with the boat's propeller, causing yet another gruesome death. Meanwhile, Jimmy and Diego have had enough of the chase. They cancel the deal with the devil and try to walk away, unaware that is not how the devil works. As a result, they are turned into ashes in an instant. Melanie thinks of Plan B and calls Archie, telling him their location and pretending like Cole is acting weird again. Meanwhile, Phoebe and Cole share an interesting conversation and get to know more about each other. After surviving several murder attempts together, they have formed a connection. They reach the cabin and decide to stay in the bunker for the night. Phoebe reveals that some time ago, she and her babysitter were in a car when they crashed into her parents, which caused all their deaths. Phoebe was the only survivor, which made it worse since she was the one driving the car that crashed. She has been blaming herself for the deaths ever since then. The rabbit doll and the keyring are the only things that remind her of them. Cole consoles her, which ends up in them making love in the cabin's bunker. Outside, Archie and Melanie's father arrive to bring him back home. Melanie tells him that Cole is hallucinating and blabbering about cults again. They find the cabin and figure out Cole is hiding inside the bunker. Unaware of the truth, Archie believes Melanie and asks his son to come out. Initially, Cole is reluctant, but he feels safer in his father's presence. The duo comes outside with a crossbow and a sword for protection. John sees this and tries to attack them with another sword. This results in a chandelier falling down on him, causing his immediate death. Archie and Melanie's father are in shock, having witnessed their first gruesome death of the night. Cole and Phoebe run away, while Archie follows them. Meanwhile, Melanie's father stops her, furious at her for taking his car. She doesn't think twice before killing him as well. Cole and Phoebe are now far from the cabin. He asks her to run away without him since the cult is after him. After that, he meets Archie and tries to convince him that he's not crazy, but he follows it by saying that they're being chased by demons, which doesn't convince his father. Archie secretly sedates him and puts him in the car. Somewhere else, Phoebe meets Melanie, who asks her to join the cult like the rest of them. When Phoebe refuses, they get into an intense fight. Phoebe puts up a tough fight, but Melanie wins in the end. She then abducts her and brings her to the area where the ritual is about to happen. She is sure that Cole will come to save Phoebe. Then we see Archie stopping at a gas station. Cole wakes up and takes his opportunity to drive away to get Phoebe. He arrives at the ritual site and volunteers to give his blood in turn for Phoebe's life. Suddenly, the mastermind behind the ritual, BuIIy, emerges from the water. Phoebe recognizes her as the babysitter who died in the accident that killed her parents. It turns out, BuIIy never died the night Cole slammed a car on top of her. She went on to be Phoebe's babysitter and died in the accident. Before the ritual starts, everyone who died that night is born as the spirit for the second time. Melanie takes the blood from Cole and gives it to everyone. The excited members drink it in an instant and start vomiting. BuIIy, who didn't drink the blood, calmly reveals that the ritual is destroyed because Cole isn't innocent anymore, having lost his virginity earlier. Following that, everyone who drank the blood turns into ashes, one after another. BuIIy reveals that it was her plan to save Cole and Phoebe. Cole put all his trust in her 2 years ago, which made her a better person. After the accident that killed Phoebe's parents, BuIIy was alive and Phoebe was on the verge of death. So, she got into the cult again to save Phoebe's life, in turn for hers. She is also the one who brought Cole and Phoebe together so they could be there for each other. After saying that, she drinks the blood and turns into ashes. We see the Devil's Book fall to the ground when no cult members are left. Archie witnesses BuIIy turning into dust and realizes Cole has been right this whole time. Everything goes back to normal following that. Cole tells his therapist that he made up the entire cult thing and gets over it. The movie ends as they hug.